Honestly, why do they keep doing the campfires now? It makes no sense. No one cares. The people who do care are still gonna be negative. People saw the season 9 trailer, and every single comment, because we read them, was negative and making fun of Blizzard for being complete trash at their job. And yet these campfires still persist. And literally no one is positive about them because the game's a pile of shit at this point. And the best part is it can't be saved. So no one's even expecting anything even remotely good from the campfires. Best case scenario, we have kind of a Rax video and he's saying, okay, they promised us things that should have been from season 0 in the game, and that they have fucked up implementing 3 times in a row now, but it's happening this time. It's a joke. It's a complete joke.
Let me go over really quickly what they talked about, and then I want to talk about some things. So they talked about the Arcana. They nerfed propulsions too fast. They added physical Arcana. They took out the cheat deaths from hardcore. The one thing on there that they talked about that I actually thought was like a good effort or a good take.
Even the Rex is like, okay, so there's like one thing that they said that instantaneously didn't sound like shit to my ears. And even that wasn't even all that impressive. I love it. I absolutely love the state of Diablo 4. I don't even want it to actually be fixed at this point because I don't believe it will ever be fixed, okay? It's easier to make a goddamn new game at this point and actually dream that Diablo 4 is somehow magically gonna fix itself. Every single decision that they have made, I from season 0 have been saying if they do this, it's gonna be bad. And then they slowly implement the things that I am talking about. Rifts, Paragon systems, all of these things. They slowly implement them. The Harada cube is pretty much gonna be here, right, in this expansion, kind of to a degree or something like that. Set items, this, that. They keep implementing them. The game keeps getting worse, and like they're like, how? Well, I told you how. I told you a million times already. Do these things, and it's gonna get worse, and they do them.
Away from this post PTR campfire was they made some significant changes to the nightmare dungeons, which when I logged in and tried them for a second, they felt indistinguishable to me from regular nightmare dungeons. They gave it a new UI. They made the events different. They added a penalty if you die to add some difficulty. If you get the max resources, it auto spawns the boss. They put new bosses in the game.
So, so you're telling me they made nightmare dungeons literally into just greater rifts? Is that what's happening here? Is that good? No, that's stupid. Nightmare. Greater Rifts are already pre. Wait, are they even called Greater Rifts in Diablo 4? Whatever, no one honestly cares. Diablo 3, Diablo 4, what's the difference at this point? Oh boy, it's just getting worse and worse. Okay, listen, let me explain why. I have been saying this since, by the way, season 0. The reason no one wants to go into your shitty fucking dungeons, Blizzard, is because the people who designed those dungeons were more interested to tell us how much of a lesbian they are instead of actually doing their job. Not even joking. There's a video about that. The people who designed dungeons, that failed shit where the layout is confusing and it's stupid because a Blizzard can't literally make layouts properly. That stuff, yes, that's literally not even a meme. Okay, it was designed by people who have literally never played the game. They don't even know what left click does. Well, actually, right click in this situation, they don't even know what that does. And those are the people who designed the layout of the dungeons. How are you expecting it to not be a disaster?
They retuned the difficulty. They readjusted the final boss. They put in some new affixes. They scaled the rewards, and they let you do the Nightmare Dungeons before you.
Yes, more rewards. That 99.9% of those rewards are going to be literal shit. But no loot filter, please.
You reach Torment. Like if you listen to that list, like that's the effort that I need from Blizzard on everything. Like 1 month ago, you let us try something, we give feedback, and then you have like 10 meaningful changes to advance it in the right direction. If everything went like that,
And again, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think this is the right direction because Blizzard currently is listening to people like Rex, people like that other guy, who fundamentally will never really say, Blizzard, you're incompetent trashes. The game is a complete fucking bust. We need to start from scratch. Okay? They want to build. They want to continue building on fundamentally completely broken ground. Okay? They're trying to build a fucking castle in a marsh at this point. That's what they're trying to do. And that castle is not even looking good, okay? It's made by DEI hires. And you will never make anything good if you are actually taking an ironic. This is what I said that's going to happen at the start of the game, and once again I was right about everything when it comes to Diablo 4. I have literally predicted this shit from day one, completely correct in everything that's happening. I said it's too late to actually fix this game, because when there were actually a mass amounts of people playing this game, Blizzard did not listen to any feedback. They did their own thing. They said, fuck you, player, we are smarter, we are better, we are Blizzard, we know what we're doing. And then they ruined the game. And then all the normal average people left. And now the people that are left playing this game, the ones that are willing to give actual feedback, waste their goddamn oxygen, are mouth breathers. All of their feedback doesn't matter because they're going to be happy with everything the game does at the end of the day. There's literally nothing Blizzard can do wrong. They're still going to play the game no matter what. So their feedback is literally just more poison. You can't listen. You will never get good feedback from, the 0.1% of people who stayed because they're retarded.
Then we'd be in a good spot. So that was the one thing that I listened to that seemed to make the PTR worth it, right? For some reason I have this twice. The class changes, and one of the things I'm going to talk about here in a second, the campfire was almost 90 to 95% the same as the campfire from a month ago. So then,
no way! Wow! Who would have fixed? Everyone knew that that's gonna happen. Like, what do you think they're gonna do? We have been struggling with the same issues for literally 2 years at this point. 2 years, same issues, zero fixes. In fact, it somehow is just getting worse. Like, what do you honestly think anything's gonna change now?
I start to ask myself, what is the purpose of these campfires?
None.
All 90% of the class changes that they talked about are identical to what I already talked about in my video 1 month ago. I almost gaslighted myself into believing that we didn't actually already watch this. I actually, in the middle of the presentation on another tab, opened up my own YouTube channel and checked to see, didn't we already go over all this? And we had. So then you could make the obvious statement like, well, the point of the campfire is to remind people and give people a Twitch drop that the season is coming out in a few days. Fine. But I think the audience that tunes into these campfires is mostly like is more dedicated than like the more casual player base.
Yep.
So I would imagine that the amount of people that
Again, people misunderstand one thing. If you're watching this video, you are a much more hardcore Diablo player than literally 99.9999999% of people out there by definition, okay? Even if you have abandoned the game, at one point you were way more hardcore than literally almost every single other person in the world who has played this game. If you consume any kind of media surrounding Diablo 4, you were way more hardcore than the average person.
that were tuning in to really learn more about the season or more about what you're actually doing is so much higher than the people that just want to glaze over what you already covered. And that was like it was most of the campfire, which is one of the reasons that I I don't know. I'm just not feeling good about this at all.
No one
For the
is.
loot, they have higher quality items in higher torments. Previously, it was only additional quantity, and I'm actually kind of
You
surprised.
know what this is? I'm not sure what. I could be wrong on this one. But this is what I've been saying that the Blizzard has been doing with Diablo 4 constantly. Oh, these things require time to farm. Let's make it that you have an infinity amount of them for free. Gold is a little bit hard to come by, and you can't spend it willy nilly, and you don't have an infinite amount of it. Infinite gold. Here you go, Chief. This thing is too hard to farm. Infinite amount. Now what people have been complaining about is the fact that, well, only multiple legendary or big affix or whatever the fuck those things are called. I have already forgotten. Items matter because that's true. Those are the only items that matter at this point, and this has been happening constantly. At the start of the game, you had white and blue items. They kind of mattered a little bit, but people didn't like that, so blue and white items didn't matter. Then yellow items didn't matter. Now anything below a legendary doesn't matter, and now we're at the point that anything below a Torment 5 multiple graded affix item doesn't matter. And now we're at the point that anything below a multiple legendary affix item doesn't matter. You know, the big thing, that one. Yes, but and this is gonna happen again because people are complaining. Oh, it's too hard to get all the items with the big legendary affix buffs. And Blizzard's like, yeah, well, I guess we have to buff it. And again, it's like every time Blizzard does something, they just make something before it redundant. That's the reality. Every single time Blizzard tries to fix something, something before it becomes instantaneously redundant.
That they change this, and this is kind of the problem with Diablo 4. And Charles made a comment. He was talking about a Spiritborn ultimate. He's talking about the Hunter Spiritborn ultimate, where you
Oh,
try.
by the way, one of the most funniest things I don't understand about Diablo 4 is honestly this. And by the way, this is also one more prediction that I said that they're gonna do. Because Diablo 4 is literally a copy of Diablo 3 in every decision ever made. I said that they're gonna make it so ultimates are spammable. Because an unspammable ultimate is just too hard for the average mouth breather of this godforsaken game to use. And now, well, for a long time now, honestly, we have had the ultimates that are literally spammable like your basic abilities. And yet, the basic actually abilities, Blizzard, what's the difference? Blizzard refuses to make it that you can actually make builds with basic abilities. Ultimates are spammable and easier to spam than core abilities at this point, and yet basic abilities? Oh, God forbid we buff it and make it so that people can use that as an end game tool. Whoa, no, 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 no. Yeah, it's that bad.
Try to chain cast it over and over and over until you fail. Then Blizzard changed it to just a flat cooldown rate, and then he made the quote, players prefer feast or famine, so he changed it. This statement and this line right here, I think kind of combine together to form
They're
the
kind of the same
general
line, I
problem
guess.
with Diablo 4. I remember back when we were doing before the game launched in the beta, they were saying people didn't understand how to play an ARPG. So when we only gave them like 25 skill points, they put them all into maxing all of their basic skills. So we want to keep the skill tree simple as
What?
possible so these people can play the game. So when you look at this, when you can drop everything in
That is so stupid.
Torment 1 and they just give you more items in the layered or Torment tiers, that's another step really to help the super casual people not feel left out. The problem is when you do things like that,
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. If you're a Diablo player and you play this game for like 6 fucking hours and you're not in Tournament 4 and you're actually like, you're gonna you haven't AFK'd 4 out of those 5 hours. I'm not gonna lie. If you can't fucking get the Torment 1 or either Torments, and you need to look up a guide or anything like that, you're a fucking retard. I'm tired of sugarcoating it. You're literally a low IQ individual. You're an idiot. You're literally an idiot, and there's no excuses. Go make an IQ, go take an IQ test and be on government subsidies for the rest of your life because you're making the cut. You're a more. There's no excuse. If you cannot fucking play Diablo 4 on your own, get to Tournament 4 without any problems, you're just an idiot. A complete dunce.
or when you have everything be a straight path, hey, let me not have anything exciting be in the game. Let's just give everybody 20% cooldown, 10% attack speed, 5% movement speed. It's always this like linear, predictable progression. The game is not fun. It's just not fun.
Oh,
And
really?
it's kind of surprising that it's fun to anybody, even the really, really casual people. The casual people have fun initially until they kind of figure out what's going on. And then they realize, oh, even the more casual people over time still think it's just not very fun. It's this logic applied to everything. Like, for example, give you a couple of examples in their
Oh,
main
really?
competitor, PoE. When I run a map, sometimes I get 1 Chaos Orb, sometimes I get 10. Sometimes I lose 10, and sometimes I find 7 Divines. That makes when I find the 7 Divines feel so
Matter.
amazing. Path of Exile has a corruption system. Anything that happens in the game, you can take a Val Orb and you can corrupt it. Sometimes you corrupt it, almost always, and it just completely bricks it. And sometimes you get something where 2 mirrors. You never know. That kind of stuff, implemented in a smart way is very, very fun. So
But you can't implement it in Diablo 4 because Diablo 4 is effectively you don't want to lose state. Blizzard thinks that people don't want to lose ever. So implementing something like that where a person needs to try, grind, and potentially lose something or not achieve greatness is inconceivable for Diablo 4 or in Diablo in
I
general.
really hope that going into the new seasons and these expansions, some of these things that they're saying, like players prefer feast or famine other than just pressing this button once every 40 seconds. Or, hey, maybe we should actually give you really good items if you progress to the end of the game. Yes. Yes. This. The problem is when you design a system.
Nah, the problem is Diablo 4 needs to be completely redesigned, Rex. That's pretty much it. Anyway, that was Rex. And by the way, I love Rex. This is not actually even trying to be a dig at him or mean or anything. I'm just saying it's over for Diablo 4. If you want to be kind against the game, you're just gonna keep making it worse. You need to just understand that at this point it's feast or famine, and it's famine, and that means that everything needs to be redesigned. Fuck, they already did an item redesign once. What's the big deal? Do it again. Who honestly cares? Do it again. You did it once, you ruined it once, do it again. Like, it's not gonna get worse even if you get it wrong, so who cares? Anyway, bye-bye.